we begin this half hour with the relief efforts following Hurricane Helene as we bring you 5 days of special coverage of the aftermath.
Yes, Helene is the deadliest hurricane to hit the mainland U.S. since Hurricane Katrina back in 2005. The death toll is growing by the day. At least 227 people have lost their lives. Many remain missing after the monster storm ravaged the southeast just over a week ago. Gio joins us field anchoring from Marshall, North Carolina this morning. And Gio, you're by the devastation firsthand.
Yeah, Janae, I mean, it really is so devastating when you look at this. As you said, we are in Marshall, North Carolina, and you can see right through some of these buildings. That's what's just unbelievable here. That was a local restaurant just behind me here. And that's what we are seeing all across Western North Carolina. So many people have simply lost everything. And keep in mind, so many of these areas were never considered flood zones. So people just don't have that flood insurance to cover all that they've lost after Helene. Now, we've told you how widespread the devastation here is, and much of it can only be seen by air. So ABC's Morgan Norwood rode along with the National Guard in a helicopter to the spots isolated by washed out roads. Morgan, good morning to you.
Hey, good morning to you, Gio. Yeah, it was really eye-opening because the North Carolina National Guard has been on the ground since the storm hit, along with thousands of other troops from 17 different states. So on our fly-along, we got a chance to see how those operations run, at times essentially operating as a taxi, picking up emergency officials, dropping them off to those relief drops themselves, but then also those heart-pounding searches.
This morning, the race to relief. The North Carolina National Guard on the move, loading up for Western North Carolina, and we're flying along. First, we get our safety briefing from the pilots.
How are you? So nice to meet you.
Then we board the Black Hawk. We're flying over McDowell County to pick up a group of FEMA representatives. They direct us to Lake James. We hover for close to 45 minutes to survey the damage.
They're looking for a white box truck. They say it drove over the bridge. And right now, we're trying to find it.
Troops circling the swollen waters below before heading to Hickory Regional Airport to refuel. As soon as we land, our second mission comes in. Troops picking up medical supplies.
We've sent out 2 million pounds of supplies in a week.
We fly over hard-hit Swannanoa. This was the scene from the ground Friday. And from above, the scope of the devastation even more clear. We land there, picking up generators, and we drop them off in Pensacola, North Carolina, a tiny community that's seen its fair share of Helene's wrath. The volunteer fire department running out to meet the Guard. Our next mission takes us the farthest, to Hot Springs, North Carolina, near the Tennessee border. We drop those medical supplies to a school serving as a shelter.
And we've become almost like a little distribution center that's filled with the people that have been affected the most. And I think that's so heartwarming to see everybody come together.
And just as we were wrapping missions for the day, troops get one final call to Bat Cave. We quickly land on one of the few bridges still standing.
Probably some of the worst damage that we'll find here in Western North Carolina. Right now, troops are getting another briefing. They're talking with officials here on the ground to see what the needs are.
Overall, the National Guard completing 422 flight missions since the storm hit.
I can't help but notice that when you land and you drop off supplies, I mean, there are big smiles from folks and they're racing out to get the supplies. I mean, what does it mean to be a part of this?
It's phenomenal to serve my community. Even though I'm not from North Carolina, it's just great to be able to give back to everybody that's done so much.
And so a huge thanks to the North Carolina National Guard for that fly along. It was really incredible to see just how quickly those missions come in, but also how quickly they change. I mean, just for perspective, when we flew over Bat Cave, we landed because of just how bad it looked from the air, but that also shows the humanity of those guards to land and check on the folks there. Just a few specs on what they've done since the storm hit. The North Carolina National Guard doing 185 missions, delivering close to 1.4 million pounds of food and supplies, Gio.
Just surreal to see that by the air, Morgan. And as we've mentioned here, you're from North Carolina, and you have that unique perspective of truly knowing what it was like here before Hurricane Helene and now seeing it after. What strikes you the most, Morgan?
You know, it has to be the devastation and just, as you pointed out, the contrast between the before and after. I mean, just for perspective, Western North Carolina is what makes the North Carolina's landscape so beautiful. The mountains are where many folks, not just here in North Carolina vacation, but all over the country as well. And so there's a sense of pride. It meant a lot to us. But then we're also thankful for those same folks, those tourists who come in, also pouring into this area to help provide relief and pitching in to help. So it is really heartwarming to see. And we are Southeast strong, Gio.
Yeah, really Southeast strong, and we've witnessed that pride and that joy even in the midst of losing it all. So many people are coming together to help each other, even when they don't have things here. And that's what's so striking about it, and really just so amazing about the people of Western North Carolina, guys.
And that is why it is so important to have you guys out there covering these stories, allowing us to see the damage firsthand, to meet those people. Both of you, the stories that you told, they were so wonderfully done, taking us there to see all of the help that's needed. So, guys, thank you. And you at home can learn more about some of the organizations that are giving back and helping in the aftermath of Hurricane Helene by scanning that QR code right there that's on the screen now.